recording. Ugh, blankets. I didn't lint roll myself. Okay, are we ready or what?
Yep.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
board games
and
board gaming things.
Exactly. My name is Jamie.
I'm Jeff.
And where's your pep?
Here.
Then the pep tea. We're doing another episode of board
What do you mean?
games. You're like, board games.
I was taking a sip. It's hot.
Board gaming things.
Burned my mouth.
This is another episode of Board Games and Brew, a weekly series where we discuss board games and board gaming things while drinking hot beverages. Today we have pep tea because Jeff is out of pep and he needs some pep.
What are you going to do what if, I don't know where my thought's going here.
What if? Good
well,
question.
It's the fall. You need like fall
Oh, we'll
drinks.
get some chai tea.
No, I don't want that. I just mean for you.
Oh, well, I want chai tea. We have different mugs today. We don't have our Boardroom Game Cafe mugs because they are dirty and we were too lazy to clean them, but I have my Baby Yoda Protect, Attack, Take Naps and my Baby Yoda shirt. And Jeff has his Ear David mug from Schitt's Creek, which if you don't watch Schitt's Creek, you should. Is it too hot?
I would like to mention that I think I've done the dishes the last 4 or 5 times.
No, your mother did the dishes
No,
while she was here the whole time.
No. She did those ones, but even before that, I did the last 3.
You actually didn't.
I
did it 2 times. Yeah.
I disagree.
Well, it doesn't matter because truth is truth.
Yeah, exactly. And that's my truth.
False. Today's topic was submitted by one of our Patreons. Our lovely Patreon, Ted, who is on Team Jamie. All the best ones are talking to you.
I think I only have Dan.
Rawr, I'm Dan.
I only have Dan, but I think he's a secret agent.
Dan's a secret agent.
Jeremy and Kyle.
You have so many more. Get over it. You have Doolin and Jash.
Doolin's not
no, wait, Jash is mine.
Doolin's not really on Team Jeff.
Yes, he is. So, as one of the benefits for our Patreons for the Golden Age Meeple level, you are able to submit suggestions and topics for our Board Games and Brew. So, this is one of those topics submitted by Ted, and the topic is board games that you slept on, which it does not mean board games that you slept on as a bed.
Slept on them?
That'd be very uncomfortable. What it is board games you thought that you thought were going to be terrible, but you ended up liking.
Terrible, or just you didn't think you?
I don't think it's fair to say.
There's any game I've played that I thought was going to be terrible, though.
There's some that I think that way, like
Twilight
Imperium. I feel that way. I feel that way
false.
very strongly. We have selected, to try to calm the lisp, we have selected 5 games that we thought that might not be so great before we played them. And then we played them and we ended up loving them. Some of these are more leaning towards games that I didn't think that I would like, but loved, and some for Jeff, and then some for both. Ready to jump in? Ugh.
Why is that the phrase?
What?
Jump in.
I don't know, but you're just like covered in fuzz. Look at that salt and pepper beard.
Have you been in our house
So
for
salt
5
and
minutes?
pepper's here, and it is in Jeff's beard. Did you like that one?
I'm gonna be gray.
Oh my god. Okay, anyways, first game that we are going to talk about is Innovation, and this is published by ELL, and it is designed by Karl Chudyk. I can only speak for myself. So I heard about this game on Board Game Barrage, which is my favorite podcast. Kellen and Christina talk about this game all the time. It's in their top list. They love it. So I was hearing about it over and over again. So I was kind of like, I think, I might like it. But it's a civilization type of game. And the box does not scream Jamie by any means. And I typically don't enjoy civilization
You ever seen
games.
the non-yellow version?
Yeah,
It looks even worse.
So boring. I wanted to try it just because I knew they liked it. My tastes do lean more towards like Kellen and Christina. So I wanted to try it, but I did not have high hopes because the box is ugly. It's so brown.
That
I hate it.
I don't think it's that bad.
And it's a civilization game, which I do like some, but they can be pretty hit or miss because typically they can be quite dry. Then we played it. and I love this game.
Mm-hmm.
It has a lot of take that in it. I don't know about when you play with more than 2 players, but you can definitely screw your opponent over, which I really enjoy about it. And it's just so much game in a little box, and it's thinky, and it's colorful when you have it out on the table. It's not just brown. I love that. I ended up really, really liking this, even though at first I did not have high expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the same for you?
So, kind of different vein, though. So, similar to Jamie, heard about this on Board Game Barrage. They enjoyed this game.
Yeah, they love this game.
So, I was kind of like, okay, sounds cool. My concern was, how do you fit a Civ game into this little box? And I was like, okay, Civ game, just cards. I don't know. It just was like, this is just kind of setting me up to not enjoy it. But then again, when I got it out on the table and I played it kind of solo the first time before I taught to Jamie, and I was like, yeah, okay, I can see how this could be interesting. And then when we played it together, it really started to hit that this game is so simple. Like, the actions you're taking are simple. The strategy is insanely deep, and there's so many things that you can do in this game, and it really just started to kind of turn on how I'm talking so slowly.
Yeah.
On how you can pack a ton of game into a small box.
Yeah.
Like, just how much you can do in this game, how big the swings can be. But initially I was just kind of like, oh, like this looks like kind of a weird card game. Mm-hmm. But it ended up being one we love a lot. So the artwork doesn't bug me as much as Jamie. I wasn't basing anything off of the box. It was more so just I couldn't figure out how they were going to make a deep Civ game based on a stack of cards, essentially.
Right.
Which they did.
I judge everything by the cover.
Mm-hmm.
The next one on the list is a game that was sent to us for review, and that is Die of the Dead from Radical 8 Games. So there's a board game reviewers Facebook page, I think a lot of people know about that, where publishers are able to, or designers are able to post their games and see if anybody wants to review it. So I saw this posted on there and I thought, I'm like, wow, that looks like a really pretty game. But I didn't know anything else about it. I hadn't heard anything before about Radical 8 Games. I don't think we've played any of their other games, but the theme caught my eye and the box caught my eye, but I was kind of on the fence of whether or not I was going to like it, and I was certainly not convinced that Jeff was going to like this game at all. But then we played it, and there's something so like novel about this game, and it's different, and like there's these little caskets, and it has this really cool theme, and it is super fun to play, to the point where I'm like, oh, if we ever have like a game day or a party with a bunch of people, like this will probably be like a go-to game for party game. Mm-hmm. What do you think about it?
When Jamie said she was bringing this one in, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about it or really like know what it looked like or anything until it arrived here.
Yeah.
And then when I opened the box, I was like, okay, like definitely can see why Jamie was interested. And then I saw the mechanics, and I think most people know that I have terrible luck.
Yeah.
So the fact of this being mechanically a lot of dice rolling and, you know, kind of just lucky hand mechanics, I was like, oh God, this is going to suck. I'm not going to like this at all. And then we started playing it, and I actually really did enjoy it.
Yep.
Enough that I would love to play it again.
Helps that he's never lost.
There's no way in hell this game would ever be something I would ever gravitate towards. And luckily, like, we played it, and that changed my opinion on it. But it kind of like put into my brain, like, how many games have I written off?
Yeah.
That I probably would really enjoy, just because like the theme is the thing that draws you into a game, in my opinion. I'm not going to buy a game because it's mechanically something.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm probably dragging on here, but...
If you are interested in a game that could be used in a party setting that is different than probably any party game that you may have, it's a bit more board gamey, do recommend. Die of the Dead. Aha. Okay. Next. This one is more so a Jeff one. Definitely. And it's another one that was sent to us for review. So we do have a full overview and review of Die of the Dead, so definitely go and check that out. That is Chai Tea for Two from Steeped Games. I knew I was going to love this one from the very beginning. So what do you have to say about it?
Yeah, I mean, again, that situation of when I look at this...
It looks like a Jamie game.
It looks like a Jamie game. It's very colorful, very beautiful, which, again, I don't mind, but are not things that I gravitate towards in games. So when she said she was bringing this in, I was like, yeah, sounds about right. Small box, 2-player only.
Pretty.
I was kind of like, yeah, sure, whatever, gonna be fine. And then when we played it, it's a unique kind of take on worker placement. I thought it was interesting that the dice are actually workers and you can manipulate the dice and you can do worker placement stuff. There's a lot going on in this game and I completely flipped on it. Like, this is an amazing 2-player game. Chai Tea for Two was one that, again, I wasn't overly excited about, but then we played it. And I remember the first time we played it, I was like, oh crap, like, I'd like to play that again right now. It's just, I feel like there's a narrative here where I make an assumption that's like small box cute art and I'm not gonna like it.
No, and I think that that's because oftentimes, and there's one that we'll talk about here in a minute, but it almost reads like, oh, maybe that's more of a kid's game. And maybe there's not a lot of strategy because it looks so cute and light and airy. But in games like Chai Tea for Two, there is so much more strategy than it looks like there will be.
Yeah.
So for someone like Jeff, who is drawn towards a box that might look like Gloomhaven or Seventh Continent or Tainted Grail, and then he walks by and sees this, he's automatically kind of like, I don't know that that's for me, until he plays it, and then he usually ends up loving it. I think you do actually like a lot of these small box games like Space Base and
definitely
King Domino and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a thing I need to get over, but you're right. Like,
get over it.
To give you an example, if I'm at a game store and I'm like perusing the shelves,
we're looking at totally different games.
Jamie's looking at stuff like that, and I'm looking at like the dungeony, like dark, kind of like fantasy-esque.
Yeah. Well, a perfect
boxes.
example of that was the last time that we went to the Boardroom Game Cafe and we had a gift card and we had to decide on games. And so Jeff has Res Arcana in his hands, a very dark cover that is like fantasy-based. It is.
It's not dark.
Well,
it's very fantasy looking.
It's very fantasy looking. And then here I have Empires of the North expansions with these cute little people on them, these bright colors. Like, that is classic.
Guess which one we went with.
Fine. But we did end up getting Res Arcana too. So next one I have, we don't actually have a physical copy of. And it's one that we've played on BGA recently.
Oh, right.
We play on BGA quite often with our friends over at Table Knots. Go subscribe, like, and love them, all that good stuff. But Max always pushes us to play new games that we haven't played before. And usually, like, we don't learn it beforehand. We just kind of go in blind and start clicking around and hoping for the best. Sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. The time that it did work out is for the game For Sale. And this game is all about bidding on property, which sounds boring. The art is unassuming. You know, it was never generic. It was never a game that I was drawn to. So he picked it and I was like, yeah, sure, like, we'll play it. I think I've heard good things about it. And within the first like 2 rounds, I was like, I love this game. I love it. And I kept trying to like bid on these castles and there's like a cardboard box. It's so much fun.
What she means by that is like the houses you're bidding on, they're all houses and it goes anywhere from like, and they're different values. And it starts at like a cardboard box and it goes all the way up to like a beautiful castle estate or something to that effect. Yeah. Just for context.
Yeah. And then you're bidding on it against whoever you're playing with and you're trying to outbid them while not spending all of your money because other properties, did that start leaning towards? Anyways, you're bidding against other people, and I've come to realize that I find bidding games to be very fun, and I never knew that I enjoyed that mechanic before because they're not actually fun when you play with 2 people. So we've only really played one bidding game before, and that was Raccoon Tycoon, and it didn't work great at 2, but this one, playing with like Max and those guys, it was just a ton of fun, and now to the point where I like want to buy that game. I want to play it with other people. I think it's...
What is going on here?
Animals. I think it's super fun and I was not at all expecting to like it.
This is an older game, I think.
Yeah, definitely old.
I was never really overly interested in playing it. To Jamie's point, I think auction games were just something that we never really gravitated towards. We just don't have the play group to play them not efficiently, but play them properly with. Max mentioned it, and I saw the artwork and that it was an auction game, and I think I just immediately shrug off auction games at this point. And I know that's not fair, but again, my history of that is with one game at a 2-player count. It just doesn't work that way. We've played some other games that have an auction element to it.
Go-Nuts for Donuts, which I knew I was going to love.
Yeah, it just has never hit well with me.
Right.
But I actually really enjoyed that game. I liked it enough. I liked it enough that I think I'd like to own it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just was one that even mechanically, I'm like, I don't auction, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because there's an auction element, but then at the end, so you buy properties, and then at the end of the game, there's checks worth different amounts of money.
Yeah.
And then you're actually selling your property back for the checks, and each property has a certain value, and if you play your highest leveled or highest numbered property for a check, you'll win the check.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's a really awesome game. Like there's so much going on in it on both levels that I think it was enough to change my opinion.
And I think you could play this with like anybody. It is not complicated.
No, I mean, the most complication would be just to budget your money properly, which we didn't do the first time.
I didn't do. I was just randomly choosing things and having a great time doing it. And our number 5, the last one on the list, was Sheepy Time from AEG, designed by, I should know this by now, Neil Kimball. Now this is a game, I knew I was going to love it from the beginning. Look at it. However, it is not at all what I expected it to be. Yeah. And I think I ended up loving it more than I initially thought that I would. This game we got for review from AEG, so we do have a full review of this one, Chai Tea for Two, and Die of the Dead. We got this, and I was like, Jeff is going to probably hate this game.
It's funny because most of these games are ones that you are like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I was excited, but I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I do. I love this game because it is so much more than I thought it would be. I did think it was going to be a kid's game. This is not a kid's game. Yes, you can play it with kids, sure. This is a game for people who like to live life on the edge, take a little bit of a risk, go for a run, that kind of thing. So, yeah.
Live life on the edge, go for a run.
That sounds like living on the edge to me.
I'm fairly certain you know what I'm going to say. I knew nothing about this game when it came. I don't even think I knew we were getting it.
Yeah.
It arrived, I looked at it, and I was like, what is this thing? Like,
Sheepy Time.
Like cute sheep on the front. Again, I was like, oh yeah, Jamie's got her paws into something here. I didn't know anything about this game. I don't know what the game was about. I didn't know how it played. I knew nothing. And I saw this and I was like, I am absolutely going to just not like this game. There's just nothing on this box that I would ever even gravitate towards.
Yeah.
I've heard other people say that, like that the box doesn't give like a proper indication of what the game is.
Yeah.
And so when we played it, like I'm with Jamie, like this is one of my favorite games that I've played so far this year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's like one of my favorite games overall. There's just a lot it's competing with. But of the new games I've played this year, this one's up there. I have a ton of fun with this. And if you're talking about like spectrum of like a game I just had no thought of ever enjoying. And then to the point where how much I enjoy it now, like this one takes the cake.
Yeah.
It's so good. And I hope more people see this and are like, okay, no, I know people talk about this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to judge it based off of this. It's really good.
Yeah.
There's enough in here to keep you satiated.
Yeah, it's like a push your luck game. You're going around this thing trying to jump a fence and run away from these nightmares, and where the fun comes in is in that push your luck element. This game does that so well to the point where it's almost like you can get really frustrated playing push your luck games like in Quacks or in Dice Rollers, but for some reason I feel like this, you're just having so much fun and you're laughing and whatever that you don't even think about that. You're just like, am I gonna go for it? Like, do I go for it?
Fans of our channel probably know we've talked a ton about like Camel Up and how much we enjoy the experience of Camel Up. I enjoy the experience of this game. It's very fun at 2. Which is great. But we played it at 4, and that's really where I think it shines.
Yeah, it was great at 4.
You know, you're kind of questioning whether or not you can push your luck and continue going, and everyone's like, oh my god, like, are they going to do it? Are they going to get through? Just a really, really great experience that just is kind of, in my opinion, with the art style and games I enjoy, is this is just the complete opposite end of that spectrum.
Yeah. So those are our 5 games that we slept on, or games that we did not expect to like and ended up
more so me
loving. Well, yeah.
I think for you, more so for me on a lot of these, it's like a game I was like, no way.
Yeah.
Then I enjoyed it. You, I think it's more so games you're like, yeah, this is going to be good, but then ended up like loving it.
Like loving it. Yeah. And I think that usually for me, games that maybe I think I'm probably not going to like this, I end up playing it and not liking it.
We're both like this for different types of, we'll be like, I don't really want to play that. I'm not going to like that. And then we play and we're like, this was difficult to do because I just feel like there's a lot of games we just enjoy playing.
Yeah.
I don't think we're the type to not like, it's the same for culling.
Yeah.
Like we play so much game.
So much game.
We like almost everything we've played.
Yep.
That it's difficult to kind of like have a list like this.
We find redeeming qualities in pretty much everything that we play.
Mm-hmm.
There's rarely a game that I'm going to be like, I'm not going to play that again.
Mm-hmm.
The only one I can think of is Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea.
Yeah, Spirit Island, but we gave that one.
I'd still play that again.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know?
I feel like you would like Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea.
But
Jamie struggles with those big games that require... Jamie's very snappy when she plays games. Very quick, very quick.
Snappy and light.
So, like, the games that take a lot of, like, strategy and thought, like, Jamie's just gonna move away from.
Yeah, I'm fine with them. It's more so other people. They take too long.
Yeah, Jamie wants people to make decisions.
Yeah, I'm like at your ear being like, do it. I wonder if there's any that we haven't played. Well, Twilight Imperium, I am expecting not to like.
I didn't think you would like Carnivals of Monsters as much as you did.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to feel about Cleopatra.
I don't know how I'm going to feel about Android Netrunner.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or Arkham Horror, the card game. It makes me nervous to play. Jack thinks that Poetry for Neanderthals is going to be terrible.
I do.
But I think maybe it might be great. Juno's here. Anyways, those are 5 games that we thought were not going to be so great and ended up really, really loving or enjoying a lot.
She's such a suck.
She's a good doggy, though.
Look at her ears.
This is why I'm covered in dog hair, because of you.
You sucking? Can I have kisses? Thank you.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what you see, please consider subscribing to us here at Foster the Meeple and give this video a thumbs up. Big yawn. If you are interested in purchasing any of the games that you saw here today, great place to start would be your friendly local gaming store. And for us here in Halifax, that is the Boardroom Game Cafe, located on
Barrington. Exactly. Normally this is where I'd pull up the mug.
Yeah, we don't have our mugs today.
Womp womp.
All of that information will be right here, boop, and down below. If you are interested, you can also please join us on our Discord where we have all of the fun chats. We also do have a Patreon, which is kind of how this video came to be because of Ted.
If you want to make us do ridiculous things on camera, not that this was ridiculous, but...
This was ridiculous.
If you want to have some input on stuff that's on the channel,
yeah,
come on over.
Come on over.
We appreciate the support.
Yes, exactly. All of that information is linked down below. And finally, we have social media because we're hip and with it. Juno's eating cat food. And
joke's on her, there's no food.
There's no food, it's empty. You can find us at Foster the Meeple on Instagram and Twitter. But other than that, that's all that we have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. We hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye.
Later days.
Goodbye.
Ugh.
What's your deal?
I don't know.
You crank?
I feel like I honestly haven't slept in a week. Even last night.
You went to bed at 8.
I know. I'm just not sleeping. I don't know what's wrong.
Have you tried sleeping?
I've tried everything. Listening to my Lord of the Rings sleep.
You get murdered first. It's my turn to take a selfish. Different.
I got rid of that one. Mm. We have dip. We have dip.
Whoa. Hang on. Technical difficulties.
I did notice on your solo video you said later days.
Yeah, but then after I said it's not fun to do without you.